Adam here from the Walser Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have a 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. So we'll look at the interior, exterior, some of the trim level specifics and updates for the 25 model, and then go for a spin around, see what it's like out on the road. Okay, so now we're behind the wheel of the 25 Tucson Hybrid, and this is the N-line trim. So there's a handful of different trim levels depending on how much equipment you want or what you're looking for. There is a Tucson Hybrid that will probably work for you. Now let's start with what is new for 2025. So all the Tucsons kind of got a mid-cycle refresh. So the bumper up front's gonna be a little bit different, as well as a few different styling things. Now on the 25 on the interior, they've added back some of the actual physical buttons for the radio here. And they've also changed this little kind of parcel cubby up above on the dash to give you a little bit of extra storage space. Now they've also sort of reworked the center console here. So you kind of get a floating dash. This particular one gets the wireless charging, but it does also give you plenty of storage room there as well. Now under the hood, whether you're looking at the hybrid or the PHEV, which is going to be the plug-in hybrid, those did get a little bit of a horsepower bump. Now this one goes up to about 231 horsepower, where the full PHEV is going to be about 268 horsepower. So they did bring some pretty cool changes to the 25 Tucson. Now, before we even put it into drive, the N-line to me kind of hits a sweet spot of the Tucson hybrid lineup. You're getting a lot of equipment, you're getting a little bit different style on the exterior, and I think there's just a lot to like here. So let's put it in drive. We'll touch on what makes the N-line, I think, pretty unique, and just the hybrid Tucson itself. So let's begin with the hybrid Tucson and what powers this vehicle. Now it's a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that's also paired with an electric motor. Now there's a plug-in version and a non-plug-in version. So this would just be the standard non-plug-in hybrid. As well, there obviously is a standard Tucson as well that would have no hybrid system whatsoever. That would also be an option there. Now, I think the benefits that you're getting with the hybrid make it a pretty kind of tantalizing option that you might want to spring for. Now, with the Tucson hybrid, they're all going to come standard with an all-wheel drive system. Hyundai calls it their H-Track system. It works very well. It's an intelligent system. So when you're trying to get the best possible fuel economy and you don't need that all-wheel drive, it's going to help you out there. But then when it's snowing, like it maybe is a little bit today, that intelligent all-wheel drive system can help you out when it senses that slipping, or you can actually lock it into all-wheel drive down here. If you're maybe trying to get through your alley or trying to get out of a sticky situation, that can help you out up until a certain mile per hour. Now, the rating from the EPA on this is 35 in the city and 35 on the highway. So no matter if you're doing highway or city driving, you don't have to really pick which one might be better for you. And that's also what's pretty nice about this hybrid Tucson. 35 mpg is pretty good for a vehicle that can haul 5 people around and most of your stuff. Now the N-line on the exterior, like I said, is going to be different than all the other Tucsons. Now this one gets the 19-inch wheels that I think look really good, and it does give it kind of that unique style that goes along with the N-line bumper up front. It's going to have a little bit different front fascia, and then out back the rear of the vehicle is also designed a little bit different on the N-line as well. It's a little bit more aggressive styling to me, but it's not over the top. It just feels a little bit more modern and improved, and I like the sportiness of the look of the Tucson hybrid in the N-line trim. Now on the inside, that's where a lot of the other big changes are for the N-line, where I think you're getting a lot of value for the money. Like I said, for 25, they made a bunch of updates in here, and one of those being the dual infotainment screens. So on the left side here, we have the digital gauge cluster. So that's going to give you all your pertinent information, obviously show your miles per hour and your MPGs, but it's also going to show you some of that safety stuff and just a little bit more built into that screen. Then on the right side, the other 12.3-inch display, wireless Apple CarPlay, as well as wireless Android Auto. Now, all of the Tucsons are going to come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Some of them are wireless, some of them are wired, depending on which system you're looking at. But this one, like I said, gets the wireless charging down here, makes it really convenient and safe when you're on the go. Text messaging, Google Maps, Spotify, everything's built right into there, makes it very easy to use. And I mean, as soon as I hop in the car, it's paired up. I can send out a text message, I can put on my Spotify. I really like that, just how easy it is. Now, the regular Hyundai menu you can also access through here. You can set up a whole bunch of really cool stuff, or you can go through some of your safety settings. Now, the Hyundais have obviously one of the best warranties in the business right now, and I think some of the best safety as well. All these standard safety. I mean, I'm coming into a school zone here, and it's going to show me the little school zone crosswalk along with the speed limit signs. I'm going to have an adaptive cruise control system in here, so I can set 3, 2, 1 car length distance ahead of me, and it also is kind of going to be an adaptive driving system where it will have a lane departure warning. So if I start to sway out of my lane, it will notify, letting me know that, and it will kind of give you that beep. Maybe you're not paying attention for a second, or you just need that little extra reminder. That is pretty cool. Now there's also a safe exit feature, so you can see that when you put it into reverse, the backup camera will pop up and it's going to show on the digital gauge cluster here, the little vehicle. Maybe if someone's approaching, you didn't see it, it will also notify you there, which is great if you got the kids in the back. That will kind of prevent them from jumping out as well, which does make it very safe. Now there's also the blind spot monitoring in the mirrors, so if you can't quite see, even though visibility is pretty good out of this vehicle, that will certainly help you out there as well. Now, what about the ride and drive? So with the hybrid system, obviously you're getting a little bit more get up and go over the standard Tucson. I think it's almost like a little bit less than 2 seconds faster, 0 to 60 compared to the regular Tucson. So you do get a little bit more power along with fuel economy. So sometimes that's sort of the sacrifice that you have to make. But in this vehicle, you get the extra juice, the extra fuel economy, and I think that's pretty awesome. But overall, I mean, it's pretty cold today. It's about 20 degrees, but the great thing is this comes with a remote start. So before I even hopped into the vehicle, I was able to fire it up. It was nice and toasty in here, thaw everything out. And this one also gets heated seats from the driver and the passenger. And it's not that full leather, it's kind of that cloth in the middle. So it does heat up really nicely. And in the summertime, it's not so hot when you jump in because it is that kind of mesh centered of the seats. Now this one also will have the leather wrap steering wheel as part of the N-line package, and these different seats with the red piping and the red stitching does look pretty good in here. And again, I think part of that worthy upgrade to the N-line. One other big thing you get, the panoramic sunroof. With the full black interior, that opens it up really nicely. I always love having the panoramic roof, especially if you got the kids or you're hauling people around all the time. That is a pretty big upgrade to me and something you might want to consider. But I mean, overall, it's cold. It's usually the roads are terrible this time of year, but there's still enough sidewall on the tire where it can eat it up nicely. You're still getting, like I said, with the H-Track system, plenty of bite and grip. And the steering is nice. It's not a really heavy steering feel. It's pretty light and easy. And then as I come up to the stoplight here, you see the little EV light up, and that just means I'm in full electric mode. So sometimes it'll switch between it, but it's not a jarring switch. It's something that just happens very smoothly. And as I take off from the light, you can hear it's quiet. I'm just using that EV power until it needs it. Kicks back in, and I barely noticed outside of the light flipping off. Now there's a few drive modes. So if I want, I can put it in sport mode, put my foot down, get a little more juice out of it. Or there's a snow mode you can use, which we did do a snow review on the Tucson, so you can check that out if you're looking more for snow driving. And then you also just have the eco mode to help you save the most gas. But kind of coasting up to the light here, back into EV mode, and then right back on the power. And it's that instant torque that you're getting with the EV and the quietness in the interior that just makes the hybrid powertrains make sense. It's just convenient. It's easy, you're getting great fuel economy out of it, and I love how quiet it remains when you come up to the light here without actually shutting the engine off. Just going into the electric mode is pretty nice. Now, like I said, the center console here, you do have this little camera button, so you can pull up the backup camera there, which is pretty cool. There is a few different selectable modes with the backup camera, so you can look straight down from the bumper, or you can change it so it's the full infotainment screen there, which is also really easy to see, and the camera is very clear. One thing I noticed with the infotainment system, it's very responsive. Even some new cars today, you don't get that quick kind of swipe back and forth. It feels more like using a phone. In some cars, the infotainment is a little clunky and pokey, but you don't get that all in the Tucson. Now, what about the second row? So, like I said, if you got the kids, you got the car seats, even for adults, I think you could fit very comfortably in here. And I noticed at 6'1", where I'm sitting, I didn't have to move the seat. I still had headroom in the back, which is kind of a rare thing. Even in some of the larger third row SUVs, I don't quite get the headroom when you get the panoramic sunroof, but I could sit right in the middle seat, and I didn't notice that at all. And there is plenty of knee space back there. Plus, you get 2 USB-C charging ports and little vents, whether it's for the kids or the dogs back there. That is also pretty convenient. Then storage in the rear, I think you can fit something like 9 duffel bags or airline bags back there. And then you can also have a 60-40 split rear seat. So you can pull the handle, kick the seats down, and that gives you a bunch of cargo room back there if you need it. But It's also nice because you can pick if you want just one side or the other. If you buy something maybe at IKEA that you weren't planning for, you can kick one seat down and still bring someone with you. So it's a lot of stuff. Like I said, some great updates for 2025. I love the look of the N line. To me, I like the sportiness that you're getting, but you're not sacrificing something like the ride quality for going with a sport model. You're really just adding some of that fascia and some of the cool interior. I noticed some of the cool colors that you can get on the Tucson really work well with the N line as well. But I think if you're looking for a daily driver, something that's easy to get in, something that's convenient, gives you lots of space and technology, and a great warranty, not to mention right now, Hyundai has a 3-year maintenance program. So you're really not paying for much for the next 3 years outside of maybe if you're leasing or financing the vehicle, but they do have a few discounts right now, so we do have to talk about the MSRP. Now, this one comes in just shy of $40,000 at about $39,900 the way it's loaded up. Like I said, they've always got some nice incentives or offers going, so you're maybe not quite paying the full MSRP, but for what you're getting with 35 mpg, panoramic sunroof, this one also gets the Bose sound system in here, which does make a pretty big difference. Remote start. I mean, there's a lot to like about the Tucson Hybrid. So I think if you're planning on owning something for a while, there is a little bit more of a price bump with the Hybrid, but the long-term payoff is definitely there if you're getting that mid-30s fuel economy back in return. Plus the style, the look, the interior. I mean, there's no reason why 99% of the time this vehicle feels like it could get everything done. Even if you want, you can throw a roof rack up above with the cross rails, go away for a long weekend skiing and have a great time and know you're gonna get there with a great warranty and all-wheel drive as well. So I think if you're cross-shopping, maybe Honda, Toyota, any of those vehicles, there's so many great vehicles right now in the market. So it is kind of coming down to, what does it look like? What does it feel like? Get behind the wheel, take it for a spin. And I think the Hyundai Tucson is a great fit for a lot of people. So I think the best thing to do is get out, get behind the wheel, and see what you think. Now, that was just a quick look and drive at the 25 Hyundai Tucson. Now, if you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by anytime. We'd be more than happy to help. Thanks again for watching.